All right, guys, welcome to day 4 of At Home Fitness with Coach A. Here's what we have on tab for today. Your warm-up is going to be 3 rounds, 20 mountain climbers, 20 reverse lunge steps, and 10 single leg hops each side. Let me run through those and I'll give you some points on them. Mountain climbers, plank hold position. Knees driving up towards each elbow, 20 total, 10 each side. On the lunges, obviously we're going to step back. I want you to make sure that front knee is above the ankle, not out in front of the toes when we do step back. As opposed to. And finally, that single leg hop is basically just going to be bouncing up and down on one leg, 10 times each side. So here's what it'll look like on the right. All right, get that warm up in, and then let's get after it. All right, guys, now that we're all warmed up, we are going to get into our strength work for today, which is going to be glute, hamstring, and calf focused. Here are the 2 pieces you're going to have. 4 rounds, alternating back and forth, legs and movements. The rep range we're looking for here is 10 to 15 each leg, each movement. If you guys have weight, feel free to weight up both of these movements to the point where you can't get any more than 15, but can still accomplish 10 reps. First move, it's going to be a single leg hip extension. That can be a glute bridge on the floor. That can be a hip thrust on, as you're going to see, a table or a couch. Or that can be a hip extension pushing up from the floor with your foot elevated. Second movement is going to be a standing single leg calf raise. I want you guys to make sure you're standing for this today. We're probably going to do them sitting with a 90-degree knee at some point. But in terms of the calf raise, I want you to try and push as high as you can, ankle extension with your calf. Lower down slowly. Think of it as a 1 to 2. So if it takes 1 second to extend up, I want you to take 2 seconds to lower back down. And again, 10 to 15 reps. Feel free to use something for support to keep you balanced from falling over so we can focus more on the movement. All right, so examples of the single leg hip extension. Something we've done plenty of times is going to be that single leg glute bridge, laying on the ground, or the leg can be up in the air. It can also be crossed, however you guys want to do it. Pushing through the heel, squeezing the glute, creating an extension. If we're looking to weight this, we can put the weight on that left hip, on that left thigh, if that's what I'm going to be pressing up with. Second one is going to be the hip thrust. Something that, as many of you have seen Sarah Ralston do a lot in the evening in the gym. We're going to set the shoulder blades up on the corner of a couch, bench. You can always toss a pillow down like I did to keep it from digging into your spine if you want to. But the idea is the same thing as the glute bridge on the floor. We prop the shoulders here. We keep the spine in alignment. Core stays engaged. Even as I come down, chin stays tucked, so I stay here without an arch. I'm going to put 1 foot down. For this, I like to cross my leg over. Press down through the heel, squeeze the glute to create an extension. Lower down, press down through the heel, create a glute, or squeeze the glute to create an extension. Performance piece on that. When you guys get to the top of that lift, we want to make sure the front of the ankle is out in front of the front of that knee, okay? As opposed to getting to the top of that extension with the knee forward out over the toes. Final one is going to be foot elevated. We are laying on the ground. This is something most of us probably haven't done too much. Kind of challenging to weight this. You can always try it if you want to, but in and of itself, it's pretty effective. So I'm basically going to lay down in the same position that I did for a glute bridge, except I'm going to set my heel up on the top of this table. Once the heel is up, I can either extend the leg straight up in the air, cross it over, again up to you. This is probably a balanced decision. And from here I push down through that left heel, squeeze the glute. Welcome to the workout for today. Here's what we're looking at. The goal is to be a complete burner, to get our lungs pumping. To get our lungs working hard, to get our hearts pumping, and to get our heart rates way up. So 2 rounds, 100 air squats, followed by 25 sit-ups, 50 jumping air squats, followed by 25 sit-ups, 25 ceiling jumps, followed by 25 sit-ups. 2 rounds through, meaning going back to that 100, 25, 50, 25, 25, 25. All right? So, air squats, self-explanatory. Sit-ups, you guys know what you're doing. If you don't have an ab mat and you hate doing these without an ab mat, grab a pillow from your couch. More than likely, that'll work just fine. Jumping air squats, all I'm looking for the most part, is that we're leaving the floor. And I want you guys to try and do it from the heels, meaning squeeze your glutes. Full squat, squeeze your glutes, pop to extension. All right? Let's see if we can't burn the posterior side of the hips instead of just the quads on that. 25 sit-ups, and then the 25 ceiling jumps. You're noticing there that I was going to give you 10, but really I made it 25. The ceiling jumps are basically just going to be a jump and reach, all right? So I don't care if you guys get all the way down into the squat, but I do want you to make sure you bend the knees for your takeoff. If you can actually get to your ceiling, go for it. If you want to stand in a doorway instead and give you something realistic to go after, that's fine. But it's basically just bend the knees, jump, touch. Bend the knees, jump and touch. That's probably going to end up being everybody's favorite one, especially if we're on the second or third floor, because it will really drive our neighbors nuts. All right, guys, good work today. Way to make yourselves uncomfortable at home. It's a pretty challenging thing to do. It's a little easier when you can walk in and out of the front door of the gym and get in and out of that mindset. Keep pushing yourself at home. It'll make you better. Here's today's recovery stuff. We're looking at 2 minutes each side of a hip to hamstring stretch, and I'm going to demonstrate that for you in a second. Think of the hip stretch as the complex version of a couch stretch, and the hamstring stretch is basically just sitting back into a sprinter stretch type position. So, in the hip stretch, I'm going to set up in a lunge position. I'm going to come down to my hand. So in this scenario, left foot's forward, right hand is forward. I'm going to try and grab the back foot, the right foot, with the left hand. The easiest way to do that is to turn the foot in, grab it off to the side here while I'm still kind of upright, and then fall forward into that stretch and pull the right heel to the right butt cheek. All right, I'm going to hang out here, get this stretch in the hip flexor, the front side of the hip. Then I'm going to release, sit back to extension, let that left leg go straight, and grab the toes. All right, and then switch sides. A couple different ways you guys can do this. You can spend a minute in one, a minute in the other. You can shift back and forth every 15, 30 seconds, however you want to do it. Nice job today. Obviously sunny outside. Get out there, take advantage of that before it goes away. It still might not actually be spring yet. It is Ohio.
Shout out to Courtney for crushing sugar and making awesome changes in her nutrition.